Happy Friday, everybody. Lance OBrien with MediConnect. Excited to be here today. We're going to do some picks. The host with the most here, Rob Pratt. Excited to have him. But tomorrow, going to give updates on what we've been up to in this crazy month of October, plus Kyle McCormick with Blueberry Pharmacy. And yeah, with all these changes with prescription drugs, how the impact of what they're doing can really benefit our seniors.
Inflation Reduction Act, donut hole, why Blueberry Pharmacy works. Go ahead.
Well, I think for me, one of the biggest things that people don't realize is there's such a mindset today, Rob, that I have to use my insurance for every transaction. And I think you should use your insurance when it's best for your scenario. And when there's a better alternative, then use that alternative. And we're going to talk about that even more tomorrow.
Tell everybody what MediConnect is for those who may not know, and that's hard to believe because I think everybody who is thinking Medicare or on Medicare enrollment period, if you haven't been in the past and you're revisiting now or signing up for the first time, everyone looks to MediConnect.
Yeah, top-rated advisory firm here in the Commonwealth of PA, and really focus on education. Whether you're pre-65 or post-65, how do I really walk and navigate this, not only in the initial decision, but as I change, Medicare changes and I grow older. Free service, never a charge for what we do. Great team, client experience, the whole works. We just really want to help people.
All right, so let's do what I do every week, and we pick our weekly winners against the spread. We always go betrivers.net, and he was just at the casino, and he loves the casino.
I like going to the casino every once in a while.
It's nice.
It's a nice stress reliever. I can't run yet still, so that's a secondary stress relief for me.
Nothing like the bells and whistles of the casino. And if you haven't been there just to watch a game or NFL Sunday, you got to do it. You're absolutely going to love it. Great food, obviously, delicious adult beverages, but more importantly, best service anywhere and all those great games of chance. I love it. So here we go. Jets last night. First off, your thoughts. Aaron Rodgers showed up and he looked good.
He did. And, you know, a lot of people thought Garrett Wilson might disappear a little bit, but man, that catch he made, what the heck, man? That was awesome. And then what a dime to Davante Adams, man. That he threw that kind of like this and it just dropped in the breadbasket. It was cool.
It was cool. Okay, so let's take a look at these Sunday games. So Winston now quarterback in Cleveland. They look totally different.
They're totally different. Third game back for Nick Chubb. That offense is going to start going. And honestly, I really like the Chargers and what they're doing in their defense. But frankly, I don't think that they're going to have enough offense. I think Cleveland's going to get that.
All right, so Cleveland's getting 1.5, so you're going with Cleveland.
I'm going with Cleveland.
Taking 1.5. Okay, Miami, 2 is back. They didn't get a win, but they looked a whole lot better. Only getting 6. I thought they'd be getting more, especially with the way Josh Allen has been playing. He may not be the best in the game. Greg Dallas talking about Patrick Mahomes. I get it. But he's having an MVP-like season. Who do you like? Buffalo spot and Miami 6.
I'm actually surprised how they've used Cooper so far. They haven't used him as much, but that offense was really spreading it around last week.
Mari Cooper.
Yeah, Mari Cooper. And I like what they're doing there. The defense has actually been playing better. Even though 2 is back, I actually like Buffalo with 6.
All right, Carolina getting 7.5 against New Orleans. I don't know if Spencer Rattler is going to go, Derek Carr is going to go, but I do know that Bryce Young will be quarterbacking. Andy Dalton dealing with a thumb injury.
Yeah, man, that's a tough one because if it's Rattler, that's going to change everything. I'm gonna go against here. Jonathan Brooks might make his NFL debut this weekend, right? I'm gonna go with the Panthers here.
This is the guy who schools me on Saturday, so I can do everything in the way of sports throughout the week. I love what he does. Okay, Vegas getting 7.5 against Cincinnati. So I've asked everyone, is Cincinnati season over?
Yeah, I mean, they looked like they were really getting it right, and then they got pummeled last week. But I like them to cover this week as well. I think they got it.
All right, Davante Adams has already left the building. Do you think the Raiders might get to a point where, hey, look, man, it's over. Let's just clean house and start fresh. Maybe even end up with the first pick, Travis Hunter. Get Shador Sanders if he falls late in the first, early in the second. Maybe even bring prime time to Vegas, Dion. Who knows? But Max Crosby, if you're him and where you are in your career,
yeah,
you want to ride it out in Vegas with really no chance of winning the big game, at least for the next handful of years? Or do you maybe say, I'd like out of here, trade me? Detroit could have used him.
Yeah, Detroit could have used him. What a great defensive player he is. I mean, you know, they got Brock Bowers, great young player, looks electric, you know, QB's not settled. I don't know, man.
All right, so who do you like? Vegas getting 7.5 against Cincinnati.
I like Cincy.
Okay. Up next, Dallas getting 3 against Atlanta. Dallas is a mess.
This is tough, me.
Breaks my heart.
I'm a Cowboys fan, right? You know, but I'm going to go here with who's not playing, and it doesn't look like they're going to have Diggs, Parsons or Deron Bland yet.
Right.
You know, they're all DNPs, did not practice. So Kirk Cousin in that offense looks good. I'm going with Atlanta painfully.
All right, Denver getting 8 against Baltimore. Baltimore wants to get back in the W column. Be nice for we Steeler fans to see Bo Nix come through.
You know what,
that's a lot of points.
Man, I'm gonna go with the Broncos here.
Wow. Is that extra point really the reason, the 8 as opposed to 7?
I really do. I think it's gonna be less than a touchdown game. Bo Nix is playing really well. So yeah, I like it.
Guy knows Medicare, but he also knows football and sports. Giants getting 4 against Washington. I'm just going to go on record. I like Daniel Jones. I think he's getting a bad rap. He's got neighbors now to throw the football to. They lost Saquon Barkley. I think their coach is getting a lot of just unneeded, harsh headlines in New York, but that's the Big Apple, and that's what happens when you're dealing with the Times and the Post. I still think he is the future, as is their coach. I'm a big fan of the Mara family. I think they need to get a little bit of a timeout, people who love the Giants. But nevertheless, Daniels came back with that busted rib last week. Looked spectacular. The Hell Maryland passes, they called it.
Crazy.
So you're getting Washington spotting their divisional opponent, the Giants, 4. Who do you like?
Yeah, I think what the Giants' problem is the O-line, right? They can't keep them upright, and because of that, I like Daniels. They're going to put up a lot of points this weekend.
Well, I like
Washington.
I like Drake May, too. He
looks great, man.
He does.
He's back this week from the concussion?
He is back. So 3.5, you always want to double check. And you also want to always check your lines with betrivers.net leading up to the kickoff. New England getting 3.5 against Tennessee. Who do you like?
I'm going to go with New England here with Drake May back. Not a fan of Mason Rudolph, really pulling it through for them.
All right, so Jacksonville, we're going to get to them in a moment. But before we get to Jacksonville, Philadelphia, let's take a look at Chicago getting 1.5 against Arizona. Kyler Murray has been a pleasant surprise, and I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the reason. But, man, I like how he's playing this year.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler looks great. I actually do like the Bears here, though. Like, their offense and their defense. Like, I was surprised they lost. I like Chicago here with the points.
All right, so let's get to that Jacksonville game. They're getting 7.5 against Philadelphia. Jacksonville, too, is a mess.
They're going to get smoked, man. I like the way Hurts. He's got his receivers back now, healthy. I like Philly.
What happens to Kenny Pickett, do you think?
I think he's going to be a career backup.
So you think the one and only chance he had was here?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Pitt SMU, too, and Ohio State and Penn State before I let you go. Green Bay getting 2.5 against Detroit. Good divisional matchup here. 2 good quarterbacks, great offenses. Young football team, Green Bay.
This is the best game of the weekend.
It is.
As far as I can see. You know, I know Love's a little bit banged up. Not 100% sure if he's going to play. Detroit scored like 100 points their last 2 games. Man. I'm going with Detroit.
Yeah, they can run, they can throw, man, they can do it all. All right, so Seattle getting 0.5 point against Matthew Stafford and the resurging Rams. Now, Puka got hurt in practice yesterday. I don't know what the status is there, but Cooper Kupp coming back really was a big difference in their win against Minnesota. And Matthew Stafford, still one of the best, even though he's been around a long time, came out of Georgia over 10 years ago. He can still sling the rock. So who do you like? Seattle getting 0.5 point against the Rams.
I like the Rams here. Honestly, Seattle's been staggering. They started out 3-0, I believe, and they've kind of stumbled along the way here. And DK Metcalf is still kind of questionable with that knee. The offense doesn't look the same without him. I like the Rams.
Only because I love Anthony Richardson. I know people on Medicare wouldn't tap out. Okay, come on now. He tapped out.
Well, he got tapped out.
Joe Flacco's in there now, who's not too far from Medicare. 39 years of age, can still throw the football. So who do you like? Indianapolis getting 5 against Minnesota.
I actually like Indy here. I really do. I know that's going to be probably an unpopular pick, but this guy, Flacco, last year with the Browns, led them really strong into the playoffs. When he had opportunities, got really good weapons in Pittman and Downs. Jonathan Taylor back healthy from the high ankle sprain. Like, I really like the Colts here.
Man, you know your football. Tampa Bay, Monday night, 93.7 The Fan, Westwood One Radio. Kevin Harlan does a great job. 8.5 Tampa Bay is getting against the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs.
So Kansas City's going to win this game.
Okay.
They're going to win the game. But 8.5. They haven't had a big win all year. They're not blowing people out like I think even without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, this is going to be a tight game, but I don't see Kansas City losing.
Steelers are off this week. Your thoughts about our Pittsburgh Steelers, what a difference Russell Wilson has made spreading the field, Pickens coming into his own. Let's talk about a wide receiver. Greg Dallas and I earlier today, this Van Jefferson, he may just be what we need.
Yeah, he's really been coming on, looks good with the ball. I mean, Russell, really has changed the offense. I mean, I really like Justin Fields a lot personally. I think he's got it. I still believe he has a future in the NFL, but Russell's looked good. He looked really sharp. You know what I like? Najee Harris.
Oh, 114 yards last week. He's how many consecutive games over 100 yards? Like 4 or 5.
The way he's running the ball, and I have to be honest too, one of the things I really like is the way that they're actually checking down to him a little bit more, giving him an opportunity. I think it's mixing things up. Steelers look really good. I mean, I got a tough schedule coming up, right?
Like all those divisional.
They got a murderous row schedule coming up, but I'd like to see even a little bit more out of the defense, to be honest with you, like a little bit more pressure. But yeah, I mean, some good things there.
Guy helped people get Medicare. He's pretty good. He brought his A game. Just goes to show you, and I've said for the longest time, I'm the luckiest man on the planet because I work with these people every Saturday, the Inside Connection. We are going to talk about Medicare before we go, but you can get a hold of them, 888-818-6334, MediConnectInsurance.com. Pitt SMU. Who would have ever thought undefeated taking on SMU tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, everything before, after, during the game, 93.7 The Fan. This young man who was Nick Saban recruited Alabama has been the guy who's resurrected this football program, Eli Holstein. Panthers are the underdog, but man, this is going to be for supremacy in the ACC tomorrow night. You'll hear it all, 93.7 The Fan.
Yeah, I got Pitt here, honestly. You know, I know SMU's got a good team, but the thing that's interesting about me is I think the defense is playing better and better now every game. And I think that with what the offense is doing, I like what Pitt's doing.
All right. Penn State, Ohio State. I think if Penn State doesn't get Ohio State this year, they may never get it.
Yeah, I got Ohio State, I think, this weekend. I hate to say it. Like, I'd love to see Penn State continue to move forward. I just think there's a little bit too much on the OSU side.
All right. Talk about this year, why it's a little bit different. And tomorrow he'll be in the air chair with me in the 9 o'clock hour. And Mr. McCormick from Blueberry Pharmacy, love what they do. They get rid of the middleman and basically give the savings to you. You cannot believe. First time I had him on the air in the nighttime show, he saved someone like $100 first call.
Yep.
That quick. So, and because of this great organization, that's how we, meaning I, got to meet Cal McCormick and Blueberry Pharmacy. Talk about why what we're doing tomorrow is so important because of what's happening with Medicare and prescription drug prices. And also, it is a different landscape this year. And if you haven't revisited your current benefits, you need to do so.
Yeah. So the first thing I'll say is we never really know what we're going to see until it starts, right? So now we're 15 days deep of actually being able to sit down and make adjustments for people. And I've run more appointments the last couple of weeks than I have probably in the last 3 years, just out of necessity because we've been so busy. It's been chaotic here, which we're super happy about. We want to help as many people. But so a few things we're seeing, I'm going to build this out tomorrow morning, but we're seeing rising med sup prices, right? So people that have plan G's, plan F's, they're trying to figure out how do I save money here? So we've been looking at a lot of opportunities to rewrite them into other plans. We've got the changes with Part D, right? Less drug plans to choose from. We've got deductibles now on Medicare Advantage plans. We've got the reduction of some of the ancillary benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. We've got increased medical costs. So we have about 5 or 6 variables right now going on in the Medicare space that is affecting people's coverage, right? So for us, it's about, let's sit down, let's find out what's important to you, let's find out what's changed for you, and now we'll explain what's changing so we can make sure that when you walk into 2025, you have the absolute best coverage for your particular situation.
I'm going to go around and do the directing as he tells you who, what, when, where, why, and how, and everything you need to know, plus how they get out and about and have seminars and how you can find out all that information. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock hour, the Inside Connection, MediConnect.
So yeah, I mean, 888-818-6334. If you have questions about your Medicare, maybe it's for you, maybe it's for your parents, you can go to MediConnectInsurance.com. Also want to throw out really quickly, we launched our webinars a few weeks ago. Massive attendance is there. If you're interested, because we're kind of slowing down the seminar season, you can go onto our website, seminars tab, you can register for the webinar there. Looking forward to seeing everyone tomorrow.